Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy DHV, and today we're gonna be taking a look at this ridiculous bullshit build. Welcome to the what are we calling this? The Holy Thorn Auto Bomber? I don't know, something like that. It's stupid. So I'm gonna show you a little demonstration on the training dummies before I get into anything here. All you do is hold down a button, you cast your buffs, and then you just do this. It's pretty cool. Definitely frame intensive, but you know, it is what it is. So what is this build? So it is apparently a juggernaut. So the name of this build is Rainbow Quads, is what I named the character. Originally, this build has gone through so many iterations. Originally, I was like, okay, I want to do Aspect of the Ethereal with quadruplets and see what dumb shit we can come up with. That sucked. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't get super high in it. And then we switched to Art of Combat, Holy Chains with Holy Bolt, and that was our go-to, and it was okay. But then I was like, I just want a really lazy build. And I asked chat, how do we make the laziest build? And we figured out Phantoma was really cool. Phantoma sword. So basically my Templar leveling build, but on, you know, end game mode. And it was okay. And then somebody said Holy Thorns. So I looked at all the options for how I would make Holy Thorns even a thing. And this is what we came up with. So we're using the 3-piece Retaliator set. I'm sorry, not Retaliator, Reckoning. Retaliator is the other one. We're using 3-piece Reckoning set. Taking damage grants the Templar Reckoning, increasing Thorns by 50% per stack, stacking 10 times, so 500%. And then Reckoning gives increased attack speed, which is irrelevant, by the way. And Thorn damage is dealt on hit. Also, chat, say hi to YouTube. We're live right now, so you know how I do guides at this point. At least like mini guides. I wanted to get this guide out now because I want to start pushing endless with it. Originally, I was just gonna be farming M15 and like maybe low endless, but we're not even great. You're gonna look at this gear as I'm going through and be like, you're not even anywhere near done greater rogging absolutely anything on this build. And yeah, this build is destroy. Yeah, the pre-comfy guide. Thank you, Spunked. The pre-comfy guide. I think that's what we're gonna start calling these ones. The pre-comfy. So let me grab a couple items out of here. So I just show you real quick. Right here. Oh, right here. This is what we were doing before. Slicing Phantoma. We had Lucilla's innate crown and vestige elementium. And that was when we were doing the Holy Bolt stuff, and it was okay. And then this swapped in when we started switching to this auto bomber kind of thing. But yeah, it is what it is. That's irrelevant now, but I just wanted to show you in case you guys are interested in Phantoma. It's all the same gear minus Reckoning, plus Phantoma. So Reckoning, really cool. And the big thing here is it makes our Thorns damage dealt on. It makes it so our Thorns damage is dealt on hit. Balgar's Binding with Heartstone. That's like the most hardcore words you can say. Balgar's Binding with Heartstone and Elementium on our chest, by the way. Crazy survivability. Like you can see here, we're sitting just under 519.2 thousand health, and that's with our buffs down because resists give us buffs, and we're using bolster. So if I have resists up, you see I go to 600,000. So Balgar's Binding, very standard. You're gonna see I have Holy Smite on pretty much everything. I think still rolling Holy Smite on your gear is actually still gonna be more damage than getting more Thorns on your gear. You could do both too, but I just went with Holy Damage and Holy Smite on hit, crit chance, because I want my crit capped. Overpower, you'll see we have 0. It's because most of our damage is coming from indirect, which does not get affected by by overpower. So overpower in theory would help a little bit, but it's not super important. Tear the Archdruid with Phantom Shield. We're making, which just buffs your indirect damage and makes Phantom Shield, which is how we're proccing most of our damage, happen bounce more times. This is the big thing that we actually just changed today. I was using Nemesis Shield with Captain Shield rune, and that was okay. But then I learned that the Thorn Nova from Vindicator can proc on hit. So just switching to this without even having anything maxed out on it, I actually lost damage switching to this initially, and our clear speed is faster. Not bad. Not bad. Nemesis is the big breadwinner here too, because it's giving us half of our health as thorns effectively. And we'll get, don't worry, I'll show you the thorns. We're not even done, but I'll show you the thorns in a second. Slicing rune is also like the most important thing here. You cannot have this build even start functioning without having a maxed out slicing rune, because you need to have tackle on no cooldown. By the way, if you're doing the Phantoma variant of this build, you have to use Slice, which is a lot less effective. But it's okay. The reason you want Tackle and not Charge, though, is because Charge goes through enemies, whereas Tackle stops. So when I'm running a map, you'll see that my character is like stuttering constantly when I'm hitting a pack. That's because it stops as soon as you hit. So it's weird. You'll also notice, so this build gets weird too, stat-wise, because you want Reach for your Novas, but Reach actually technically lowers your attack speed because you want as little distance traveled on your tackle as you can, because more distance means more animation time that you're locked into, which means less attack speed, technically speaking, and attack speed does not, for the most part, affect your tackle at all. All it does is makes your other buffs happen faster, like it gets you out of other animations faster. So attack speed is good. I just use Flurry for my attack speed, and I think I have attack speed on Masteries. And that just kind of, it makes it comfy. It makes it not like you're stopping and then back into it. It's kind of just but yeah, it's fun. This is the engine of the build. It is Aspect of the Ethereal with King's Rock. There's probably things you could do better than King's Rock, but I'm just doing it for now. I might change it. I don't know. There's not like a lot of other runes on jewelry that would be really good for this. The only other thing you could maybe do, and I don't even think you actually have room for it because I think it's a weapon, but you could potentially do Barbed Revenge, but that's just it's inconsistent and it doesn't really add much to your overall damage. Critical Thorns, by the way, if you can find a place to fit Critical Thorns in this build, it's disgusting. But currently I don't have a good place for it, but I'm trying to find a place for it because it would like double my damage, if not more. But Aspect of the Ethereal gives us an infinite stacking dot every time we deal on hit damage. On hit being indirect damage, I should specify. Our thorns, by the way, count as indirect damage. So those Thorn Novas are going to be adding to the stacks. And they're going to be dealing the most damage for our stacks. The ramp is actually not crazy high, but because it's true damage, it looks a lot higher than it is. And it's kind of cool. I'm not going to, by the way, talk too much about the stats on these. You can kind of just see what I'm doing here. If there's a stat I need to explain, though, I will get into it. Like here, the Kill Explode is not important. Like, it's not necessary. You could fit a ton of other things here. I just kind of have it there for quality of life and clear speed, because again, this was originally just supposed to be a mythic farmer. But now we're like, okay, fuck it, we can push. This is another recent change. Originally, I was using Stagger Boots with Lusumbras. Lusumbras, by the way, very core to this build since we're doing holy damage. So holy damage is just the big... I'm sorry. Shadow Resistance is the most important stat on this build, arguably, because it's buffing our damage, it's buffing our health, Uh, it's just crazy good on this build. And all res is really good to get anywhere you can fit it into. I would have it on my shield, but I wanted the extra block chance and I wanted more stagger because I wanted to try to hit block cap, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, but we're going to try to get as close as we can. But yeah, Storm Chasers is a recent addition I added, and it seems really good. It's definitely more damage, and we have enough stagger everywhere else. Like, I have stagger on my helmet, my shield, my chest, obviously Balgars. So I don't think it's necessary to have stagger boots, though if you want to be more defensive, stagger boots are definitely the way to go. But because of aspect of the ethereal, we're going to have twisters constantly. And there's a lot. Like, I've had moments where the buff bar will show me I'm having like 100 and something twisters up or something like that. Or at least I think that's how I'm reading that. But either way, Storm Chaser's good. Good damage, yeah. Just glance over the skill trees. Skill tree is very basic. That's not skill tree. Skill trees are very basic. Back to the thing I was saying about the least amount of range as possible on your tackle. We just have tackle at rank 1. It's at rank 1 tackle is better DPS than any other rank. Just because, again, shorter animation time. Bolster we're using, and now you might be like, why aren't you using reprisal? Well, because we're using this. Bolster infiltrating also gain the effect of reprisal. So we're getting a ton of thorns from reprisal. We're getting a ton of resists from bolster, which is giving us more health, which is giving us more thorns. You see what I'm saying? Resists are crazy on this build because resists just scale all of our stats. Thorns, yeah. You can look at this and pick up what's going on. We take Thorn Maiden as our ultimate. Thorns, yeah. Don't pay any attention to Hardy Dance here. That's just there for travel. Because I need 6 points here, and what else are you gonna put? Again, same thing with Sharp Steel. It's just for travel. It helps, I guess. Like, it's there, but it's just there for travel. Don't worry about it too much. Phantom Shield, obviously very important. Revenge, kind of important. Now, Enchanted Arms is interesting because, like, we're not proccing it frequently, but this build does not require 100 points. At least not like this iteration. I'm trying to find a better way to min-max it. But right now, Enchanted Arms with this and Magnetic Overload just seem like the best way to dump points. It doesn't proc too often because we're constantly moving. We're very rarely actually getting hit. So, if you can find something better to put there, let me know. And now that we're onto this tree, very standard, you take the crit damage, you take a little bit of the attack speed. Again, not necessary, but quality of life. We're taking Flurry, because again, quality of life. Alternatively, if you don't care about the attack speed, you could switch to Alacrity, which would let you take some CDR off of your gear. I actually probably could even without that, but I just have Alacrity for now because, again, quality of life. I like getting out of my animations a lot faster, but it does not technically add to our DPS. It just lets us get back to our DPS faster, which I guess you could argue is adding to our DPS. Over here, this is so much travel. This is travel. This is travel. And this is quality of life at best. We're taking Salvation. Gives us a ton of sustain. Gives us the warmth. Gives us a ton of sustain. Salvation's also giving us a shield because of Lingering Liberation. So this tree is very standard hardcore kind of thing. Over here again, this is travel. This is travel. This is travel. I've tried to drop these. The only other thing you can put it into is Holy Water, which is, again, just travel. I'm not even using pots on this build. Yeah. Alternatively, you could potentially use Aegis on this build if you want to be, like, super hardcore, but I would rather have the damage since I'm investing defense and sustain everywhere else. Take standard reach here. I would actually like to spec out of Faith's Reach, but I don't, again, have a good thing to put in its place. So this is actually lowering our damage. If you can avoid taking this somehow, don't take it. Plea. So really, you can take anything here. Plea is just kind of nice sustain. I was using prayer for the longest time to try to balance out to have permanent uptime on my ulti, but now I have permanent uptime on my ulti, so prayer doesn't really do much for me other than keep my other buffs up longer. Which is still nice. Don't sleep on that. Because I don't have 100% uptime on bolster currently. But I would like to. So I could switch back to this if I wanted to. Him is good if you're just farming anomalies and mythics. You can farm M15 on this really easily, even without Greater Rogs. So him might not be bad, so you don't miss anything while you're running past it. I'm just using Plea because I like to have sustain. If you can get less points in this, the better, but it's whatever. We don't spend mana for the most part. And Devotion is incredibly important though, because aura effect. It just makes everything smoother, and it buffs our bolster and our reprisal, so you want that. And then the last thing on this tree is forbearance. It just makes us so grace. Gives us resists, which gives us health, which gives us thorns. By the way, since it's all resist, it also gives us shadow res, which gives us more health because of Elementium, and it gives us more damage because of Lusombras, as well as the thorns because of Nemesis with Heartstone. There's a lot of resists are like your most universal scaler. Resists are just, they give you everything except resists because Heartstone. Now that I've shown you the gear and the tree, before I get into masteries, let me just show you where we're at. Without buffs up, we're sitting at 17.3 million thorns. And if I put my buffs up, this is without Reckoning, we're at 48.2. And I think with fully stacked Reckoning, we're at like 111,000? No, not thousand, million. 111 million. Yeah. And it's still low end because we have so many things left to scale for our thorns. I'm really excited to see how high we can pump our thorns because it's just going to get really stupid. Okay, absolute last thing here, the masteries. I'm not going to go into super heavy detail on each and every one, but we're going to cover a couple of important things. Health, and that's it. Thank you for watching. No, the health is really important because, again, it scales everything. If I could dump into all res, I would, because that would scale everything, but unfortunately, there's not a way to just dump into all res. I have thorns here. You could potentially take the crit damage and still be fine. And you'd obviously have a little more damage. I think crit multiplies better, but I don't care because it would really only be buffing our Phantom Shield damage and the procs that it does, but I think that we're fine with taking thorns there. I know a lot of people don't take thorns on their builds, but I don't. It's up to you. I think it's the better way to go. I'm probably wrong, but who knows? You need this because with Crown of the Innate, this lets you have 100% chance to proc Phantom Shield. You need Phantom Beacon because this is the only way that you have single target damage. You need the shield to bounce off you. Does not matter how many shields you're throwing out. If they're not bouncing, then you're losing so much DPS. Block Chance, like I said, this gives Bolster the same effect as Reprisal. Phantom Shield damage, it's whatever. There's not a better option. Blocking increases sword and shield damage. Again, there's just not a better option unless you wanted to start messing around with like physical Thorn satellites, but I'm not gonna do that. I only have 1 point in here because what's our other option? Enchanted Arms. And then class mastery, you literally don't have another option. So and this buffs your Phantom Shield damage, so it's whatever. Attack speed here, there's not really any other important things in this. I'm just kind of using it to get this, which I also don't really need. There's some damage reduction here, which is nice, right? And then I have the ultimate thing because, again, that's our other option. Who cares? The middle, it's just very standard. Just very standard. Effect duration, CDR. You don't need movement speed because you're never walking anywhere. So, but yeah, very standard stuff here. You take Thorns. You do not need to max this out. You just need to have 2 of these connected and 65 minimum in everything. So, and then we take shield damage because, again, we don't have a better option. Doesn't even actually buff our shield, our phantom shield, but it does buff our tackle, so I guess it's cool. Realistically, you could just not take this 1 point if you want to super min-max, but who cares? It looks weird not having it, and I'm not gonna lose sleep over a single point of health, because that's the only other place it would go. All damage, all res, gem effect, those are the only real important things here. I guess technically the holy damage and the thorns are cool, but everything else here is kind of just, you know, bog standard. The fire tree, we take the effect duration. This is pointless on us. Stagger, this is important because of the salvation shield. This is nothing, this is nothing. Hey, more all damage. And then aura effect. Hey, that's nice. That buffs our bolster and our reprisal. And then holy tree, just holy damage. Grace chance. This is the driving force. Holy thorns cannot function without this. I mean, it can. You just wouldn't be doing holy damage. Healing effect. You could take the life on hit. It's also a good option, but I have so much of that already, and I have so many other forms of sustain. I would like to just buff that wherever I can. Same thing up here. Wait. Yeah. I have that somewhere else. I have no idea. Oh, right here. Duh. Everything else. This is the other important thing. Holy auras increase aura effect of everything. So we have 3 active auras. So this is going to give us 30% aura effect. Cool. This is irrelevant because we don't even have hollowed. You could take hollowed, but I don't see a reason to do it. It's just a little extra single target, but it doesn't proc on hits. So, again, just don't have a better option here. Yeah. This is just travel because, again, no better option. And then Holy Affinity, this is going to make it so all of your middle points here scale your holy damage. So this is giving us, so every point I put into health is giving us holy damage. And everything else too. But at this point, I'm scaling health, scaling holy damage. It's very nice. And I think that's pretty much the build. And I will slap a build showcase on at the end of this. I'm not going to bother recording that while I'm doing this because I don't want the game to get super framey like it does when I record. So yeah, we're going to call it a day. Thank you guys so much for watching. And come swing by the stream. I stream just about every day between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern. Twitch.tv/DHVs. Link is in the description. I will put a paste bin for this build, assuming Chronicon is working, which it should be. I will make a paste bin for the tree. That'll be in the description below. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Love you, and bye-bye.